Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss about Fibonacci sequence, or rather the Indian origin of Fibonacci sequence. Please look at this picture. It starts from 0 and then 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 51, 89 and 144. This is a sequence we are going to discuss after 0. This is the divine mathematics which I have in mind. It starts from 0 alone, but the first num comes is 1, and that is what is called binary system, which is used in computers and otherwise. The whole foundation of divine mathematics starts from 0, then come to 1, and then Fibonacci sequence, then to golden ratio, and finally come to Deviank as such to show this is the divine design. We are unfolding that. Now, let's explore, enumerate, explain the divine design of nature with precise mathematical wisdom. I am very clear. If we want to understand Ved, Upanishads and ancient Indian scriptures, you got to be mathematician, you got to be excellent in physics, excellent in chemistry, excellent in biology and all the sciences, including arts, have to be in mathematical language only. Now come to the divine mathematics. I make one thing very clear. The language of arts is mathematics. The language of science is mathematics. Divine mathematics can solve everything in the universe, and Divyek is the one with which all the perfect objects of the entire universe are designed and created. That is the precision which I am trying to bring now mathematics to Divyank, so that all the students throughout the world learning maths, physics, chemistry and sciences, and every subject is perfect without any difficulty. Now come, whenever I am in doubt, I watch cosmos. Why do I do? I see a uniform, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, perfect divine design of nature in the cosmos only. And my first teacher is divine nature. You can't Surya, all the planets, everything in the universe are so perfect. It hasn't changed. It will never change. And that is the beauty of the design. And that is the design of Divyang, which I'm going to show. And here also two statements I've put on the picture of spiral galaxy. What is Aham Brahmasmi? I am like God. Mean I am like divine nature. Second thing, Tat Tvamasi. Everything is designed exactly similarly, and that design is Devyank. Now, as I told you, Pidant Brahmandam Ekam is the first statement, Aham Brahmasmi. Human body is not made of 7 chakras, it's made of 10.344 chakras as such. That is one thing. And same thing, solar system, Surya Mandal, is also made of 10.3441 heavenly bodies. We will explain that, we will explain much more as we go on. When you go to spiral galaxy, also there are 10 Sundays, suns, and then they move on to go. But same identical mathematical design is in the human body, is in the Surya Mandal or solar system, and also spiral galaxy, which I call Brahmand. Pedant, Brahmand and Surya Mandal, all the three are identical. Let's stick to that alone. As I told you, the Tat Tvamasi is not what everybody has translated it. It is not found in Ved, but it is in Chandogya Upanishad. It is normally said that Tat Tvamasi means I am like God, but it does not make any sense to me. I cannot translate Tat Tvamasi as I am God, because there is Aham Brahmasmi. I am like Brahma, the God, I can understand. But Tat Tvamasi, no way. And my experience is Tat means the divine nature. Tvam means everything. Asi is identical. That means every object of the universe is as perfect as the divine nature. As a result, the question comes up, if the design is same, then they should have a mathematical precision in the design also. So that's how this particular shlok I call greatest verse, which made me think, look for the mathematical design, you will find in the universe, it is only for the people who observe nature very, very carefully. As I told you, zero was not invented by Aryabhatta. It was discovered from the very beginning, from Shunya, and I think I've come to that. From Shunya we come to 1, and now Fibonacci is the second thing which will make us move towards to Devyank one by one before I go on to explain my own autobiography. Now the review of literature and exploration of the known wisdom. The Fibonacci sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89. And there are so many other numbers have been given by different mathematicians I do not consider. Reason is they don't start from 0, but this is the one which starts from 0. That's why it is important to me, because 0 is what I call is Atma, the soul, and the seeds are in 0, and from 0 everything has come. We maintained by 0 will go back to 0, and that is the beautiful part, and that is what Maharishi Yajnavalkya is also talking about. Purnam idam purnam adham, and everything is come from 0, is sustained by 0, is maintained by 0, is the beautiful shlok by and large. Now come to the Fibonacci sequence. Let's look at this number very clearly, what is there in this particular number. And I do believe, I want every mathematician, every person to be precise, concise, and see what is there in that particular symbol. India is known to give the language of idols, images, of mathematical precision to the world, and we are going to see that also in this particular. In this particular thing, you can see the third number is the sum of the preceding two numbers. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. This is a sequence which nature follows, and that is the beauty in Fibonacci sequence. And it was not Fibonacci who discovered in 1200. First conceived by Pingala in Bharat in 450 BC. This is a statement from scriptures as well as records in internet. He called it Misraucha, two numbers are mixed. That's why written as Mishran. Veeravanka in 700 AD called it variation of two numbers, is the same thing explained by him. But Leonardo da Vinci, Fibonacci, explained it in 1202, and the real beauty of hidden golden ratio is 1.618 is brought out by Fibonacci sequence. Now there is another mathematical design which I am bringing up to. See, we have to think what could be the next perfect. Now I am glad that Fibonacci sequence is called as the Indian series by Fibonacci itself. Leonardo called it Indian series, not a Western series, and that document is there in this particular thing itself. Now come to the question. Let's look at the 7 levels of branches of tree. Zeros after that, shoot is 1, then 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. This particular picture in internet is also very popular, and you can see the 7 up to 1 to 7 sequence is very clear. That shows everything is divine, and 7, whether the person who made this was aware of it or do not know, but I see a beauty of 7 also in this. Now aloe vera, you can see the spiral going in the same direction here also. Then pine cone, you can see the down, it goes on the same spiral of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, but on top I have put a longitudinal picture. Here if you look very carefully, there are 10 layers alone, not 9 or 11. That's why pine becomes very, very important in this particular thing, that there is hidden in 10 itself. What is hidden in 10, we are going to see as we proceed towards unfolding Devyank step by step as a very intelligent mathematician, artist as such. Now the lily flower also, you can see the same thing going around, is a beautiful picture. Now in the human body also I see, you can see the hand, bones of the hand, the smallest outermost is 1, second is 2, these 3, third is equivalent to 5. Then 3, there is the same sequence here too. And similarly, right at the arm and right up to this, further also same Divyang, we are going to see that as we move on. Now the sunflower is the same thing you're seeing, but in this particular picture, the same picture which we have seen in spiral galaxy is appearing here. That is the beauty how our ancients observed the plant kingdom very clearly, and all said and done, Fibonacci sequence is centrally around plant kingdom, which is not as perfect as human being, but still gross enough to observe things. But I'm sure if you go deeper into the DNA of a plant kingdom, you will see the real beauty of Divyang there itself. Now come to the question of essence. As I told you, 0, 1, 2, the sequence is there. Then I am taking the 10th and 11th sequence alone. That means 89 divided by 55 is equivalent to 1.6181818. And that is the most precise golden ratio which comes out of this plant kingdom, or rather this particular picture. The result is 1.10, but again it is a 10th, 11th level. You see this particular number, not other numbers. That also says that how divine consciousness, even at minute to minute level, is same. That is what Sanatana Dharma says. Whether it is smallest or the biggest, this is identical. That is Aham Brahmasmi. Now come to the question. My first intuitive question comes to my mind. When was the Fibonacci sequence revealed? Internet talks about Veeravanka or Pingala. I can understand. But I observed the statue on the next page, and then was, in my opinion, was designed by Maharishi Yajnavalkya almost 5,000 years, and it's a beautiful, amazing picture of Fibonacci sequence itself. But I'm very sorry to say nobody has seen that in that particular picture. Nobody even could feel what could be done in 13 and 29 in that particular sequences. Now look at this particular picture. I have put it on Akhand Vidya. I have explained that incomplete. And a mathematical divine symbol, a new spiritual science emerged from that. But if you look at this particular picture very clearly, and I'm going to show you why Fibonacci sequence is there in this particular picture. Why is the greatest work done by greatest mathematician, greatest scientist, greatest philosopher, greatest spiritual scientist, Maharishi Yajnavalkya, and I do believe it is done by him. Whether there is no recorded, otherwise I'm not at all bothered. I go by my inner conviction, and that's the fact. Now, as I told you, this particular picture, the divine mystery, was stone carving of Shila, was found in Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi from debris, and everyone wondered about the central 13 petals and outer 29 petals. You can see very clearly how a 360 degree circle divided by odd numbers of 13 and 29 by the ancient Indians. That was a question raised, and nobody has an answer. I have given the simple answer very clearly. Stapta Brahmana of Maharishi Yajnavalkya has shown the way how to calculate these things 5,000 years ago itself. And that's the beauty which I am talking about. And that book was written by Maharishi Yajnavalkya only. Now this is the path of Stapna Brahmana, path of the 100 Brahmanas. From Yajnavalkya took the Shukla Yajurved and converted into Brihad Upanishads. He explained the hidden science of making of the symbols, rituals and methodology. Impeccable wisdom and science of pi 22/7 is also revealed by him. Zero is also by him. Pythagorean theorem is also by. All the mathematical wonders, I think, all go back to Maharishi Yajnavalkya only. He is the most intelligent person I have seen in the world who did not believe in any human being. His guru was Surya. He learnt everything from nature and gave the world the mathematics which has not been recognized in any book, which I am very sorry to say. But I do believe divine mathematics was started by him. Earlier, implement, he made it explicit. Ancient Indian science of geometry, the first incarnation of Lord Shiva, also Matsya, Kurma, Vara, Narsimha and Vamana, also based on Stapna. This second 5 incarnation of Dasara are based on human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology and behavior, which I have explained. So as a result, there are 10 incarnation of Lord Vishnu, which represent the 10 stages of development. As I have told, Brahmank is the first stage of creation at 22 by 21, and there are 10 stages of development which are Vishnus, or Vishnu Ank. Now come to this picture. Let's say the central picture, which I have explained earlier also. You can see one central dot, which is Shunya, which is 0, which could be sun, which could be earth also. It's a very interesting part. It's the way you look at it. He has put Shunya and then sun and earth, all the three in this particular picture. That's what I'm going to show you one by one. How intelligent is this particular picture? And people saying the Hindu gods and goddesses are mythology, and I'm very sorry to say the greatest mathematical work unheard in the history of mankind from anything. What West doesn't know ABC, or the world does not know ABC, ancient Indian Brahmins have done excellent work, and I feel that is my duty to show to the world. We need that kind of education for the world uniformity, which is not present today. Now comes the 7 is surrounded by second. As I told you, Surya has got 7 horses. That's it. That is 7 days, 7 colors, everything 7 parts. So 2 is very clear. But 7, earth also got 7 part, Antariksha is also 7 part, and heaven also 7. As a result, the 21 and 22 I've already explained that. But in this particular second part, 13, I make it clear it is 5 plus 8. It is not 13. As I've marked 5, then 8 is 13, and that's it. So we have to have that intelligence. No wonder I was considered as a person very high IQ level. But being a mathematician is easier. But I can score much more because I understand much more than the mathematics alone. It's applied part also. Now you can see 5 and 8 is Divyank ratio, or sequence, are 2 parts of Fibonacci sequence itself. Now come to the next stage. 29 is not 29. It is 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13. It's the same sequence you see in Fibonacci sequence, which equivalent to 29. So here he is bringing another element into the picture. He has brought sun, he has brought earth, and then 7 part of the sun, 7 part of the earth, very clearly Antariksha. But now he is bringing moon into the picture, and that is why in 29 he put it. How intelligent, how divine he must have been, that he knew it so very well, and that's how he did it. Excellent to the core. But I am surprised no one even could understand ABC of it. Now come to the question. A lunar calendar, which represents the menstrual cycle, is made of 29 plus 52 days. I am making it very clear. Now I am adding 0.52, which is with little more than 29 but less than 30. So giving 29 is fair enough, because otherwise fraction is very difficult. 59.2 is a precise number with which lunar calendar and solar calendars are based. Between lunar and solar calendar is also difference of 11. That is also amazing divine mathematics, which I have already explained. Now here it comes. We, in menstrual cycle, we have missed something. But what we have missed, this particular Fibonacci sequence of Maharishi Yajnavalkya would make it very clear. Now come to this is the known menstrual cycle, which the world is talking throughout the world. A to Z of every medical person who is into botany to medical sciences, everyone throughout the world is talking of this. And this is a picture courtesy of Encyclopedia, because that's the greatest book. But in this particular picture, you can see very clearly there is a period bleeding stage of 5 days, then proliferation of 8 days, then there is ovulation and 13 days of that. So you have 5, 8 and 13 is there in this picture, very, very clear. But somehow I know very well this is not perfect because I'm a medical doctor. I've been observing, I've been treating patients for 30 years at a stretch in the beginning before I took up to spiritual science. Now I know very well there was much more than this particular thing. That's it. Now I'm going to show you how perfect is the perfect human menstrual cycle, which I disclosed in 2015 for the first time after making Divyank. Here 3 days before bleeding the start, when you have the first phase of 3 days, cohort of 10 primary follicles come. At the same time, pituitary starts releasing hormone, and hypothalamus releasing hormone. Pituitary gives you follicular stimulating luteinizing hormone, then ovary give you estrogen and progesterone. At the same time, on ovulation also new layers start forming before bleeding. So there's so many changes at the same time. 3 days, primary, all the problems the women go through, psychological, are within that. Such an important part of the female menstrual cycle has not been considered by anybody. I don't understand what is the medical professions. They don't even have that kind of intellectual to look. But I am 100% sure there are many people. I had my class and other things who were very intelligent. They were raising the questions, but unfortunately system was not conducive. This is what is taught, this is what you have to get marks and forget about everything. And I think I do not believe. So 3 days, then 5 days, absolute. Then 8 days, no issues. Then ovulation, no issue. But there is a question. This 13 days is not a 13 days. This secretory phase is divided into 8 and 5, and I've made it very clear. First corpus luteum is for 8 days and albicans for 5 days. If pregnancy takes place, the progesterone continues to be formed. If it does not, it stops, and then there is a period. And that clarity is required for anybody and everybody to. Thanks to Maharishi Yajnavalkya for that symbol, and Divyank and the divine nature and the mathematical precision which is making the medical science very, very clear thereafter. If this is what is required to learn, if you take this Fibonacci sequence of which I have put in this 27 slides, it should be taught to everyone in the world, and then there will not be confusion. Any research thereafter based on that, you'll have many more things coming, and I'm going to talk about this as we move on now. This second sequence is a new Mahagranth by itself, and my desire is to enlighten everybody with perfect education, and that's it. Coming to the last picture, I'm not going to talk much. I think this is enough for the day, but everything at the end is there in this particular thing. Thank you very much.